shop here. Welcome back. Had a little bit of a break for the last couple weeks. We've been working, a lot at work again. So, got to serve the cause, pay the bills. That old chestnut, whatever. I still have the paddle board. We're still going to finish the videos on that. Just life gets in the way and things can happen. And I don't know if you've noticed in some of these videos, I'm sweating because it's hot as balls in here. So we're going to try to take care of that. Everybody else has done their mini split install videos, so why not do my mini split install video? Hey, maybe I do it a different way, or maybe whatever. It should be cool. That was funny. Anyway, we're just going to go through this thing. We're going to install the indoor head first. Then we'll go outside and install the heat pump and all that shit. I've gone through the manual. Oh, yeah. A beer girl, I know. Hey, it's 2025. What can you say? I've gone through the manual, tried to memorize like some of the little special things, hole size, tube length, crap like that. So just go through your manual. There's important stuff in there. You're not going to want to miss out. I think all these units are going to be basically the same thing or say the same thing. So I'm not going to say this one makes it easy because they all probably make it easy. But anyway, this thing comes with an actual scale drawing of the bracket that this will mount to the wall with. So we're going to use that up on the wall to get it all leveled, make our holes, and then we'll know exactly where to put the bracket back up. Everything will be good. Your hole right here, like I said, I went ahead and looked in the book to try to figure out what the actual size was, because they don't point it out on the board. And they also don't mark center on there. So you need to learn how to mark center on your circles. Because everything positioned here is how it's supposed to be positioned on the wall. Get caught. I sound like a friend. And if you watch this video, you know who you are. Anyway, okay. This is an 18,000 BTU 22 SEER unit, or 19 SEER unit. So it's not the greatest, but it is good for 1,200 square feet. My shop is under that. I'm just under 900 square feet, but I'm 16 feet high at the eave, or not at the eave, I'm sorry, at the ridge. Sorry. So this thing should take pretty good care of the shop. I will eventually finish my plywood up to the ceiling and get it all further insulated. But for now, I think this is going to help out big time in the shop because it gets a little hot. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to grab my level and my screw gun and a couple screws, and we're going to go put this thing on the wall. Let's get to work. Yeah, I'm wasting time. This will all get cut out. Hopefully. Hopefully I'm staying in the video enough. We'll see. Hey everybody, there's my drill. Let's do that. Okay. Let's get up here. I want it basically centered in between those two wall studs, so I should go ahead and measure that first, just to make sure. I'm going to go from here to about right there. we'll just say 58 inches. So 25 and inch and a half is going to be so about right there. That's going to be our center point. We're close enough. Okay. What did I forget? The level? Try to load up your hands as full as you can get them. You know, it's the best way to work. Looks like that's about center right there. Or very close to center. So, actually, I'm going to go up to that height right here. Yes. So, let's do this. Okay. That one. Just gotta level it out. How's that look over there? That looks pretty good for my house. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's that guy. Pull out this other one. Make sure she's still level. Perfect. That guy right there. Okay. Remember, mark the center of your circle. First, you gotta find out what size your circle is. So, I just cut an inch or two. That just means hold your thumb on 1 or 2 inches right here. Use that to find the end or hold that mark on the edge of your circle here. Use the other side of your tape right here. Move it up and down the circle until you find the farthest point from where you started. Looks like about 2 3/4 inches. So we're going to go 1, 2, that 3/4, so that's what, 1 3/8 inch, 1, 2, 3. Here's one. Okay, now I have one center mark. Let's make another center mark. So make sure that we're actually in the center. 2 3/4, 1 3/8, right there. That's the center of our circle. It's that easy. Easy, easy. Go ahead and put that guy in. Okay, we've got our board mounted. Take all these guys out. Make sure we can remember to find our holes. Right? There's one. This could be fun. There's two. I have to get the board to find the other one. There's that one. And right here. Got it. Okay. All right. Now that we've got the easy part done, got our little schematic up on the wall, got it all leveled. We know where we're going to put it. Now we need to drill this hole right here so we have some. So we have an exit through the side of the building for our refrigerant lines and our drain line to go through. All that stuff has to go outside the building because it all goes outside to connect to this thing. So move that stuff out of the way. This and this came in the box with this guy because they came in two different boxes. I left that part out. So the outside unit will come in its own box with its components. The indoor box will come, or the indoor head will come in its own box, and it comes with its components. So that's how it's going to mount on the wall, right? So on the back side, here's our bracket right here that is going to mount to the wall. Okay? It has two little clips down here to release it from the unit. One Phillips head right here we have to take off. And then we can mount that thing to the wall and get our hole drilled. See? Now we can put that up on the wall like that. One key thing. I said that we were going to drill about a 2.5 inch, maybe 2 3/4 inch hole through the wall. While you're doing that, or when you're doing that, you need to go ahead and drill that hole at a little bit of an angle. You don't want your hole going straight through the wall. Like here's your wall right here. You don't want your hole going straight through it or up at an angle. You want to drill your hole kind of down at an angle like that. So when we go ahead and pass all this through the wall, it will already be on a natural angle, and your drain line from this will be able to fully drain. Very, very important, because if this thing gets kinked or isn't at a downward angle so it can drain properly, your unit on the inside is going to build up water, and then you're going to start dripping water inside the building where you don't want it. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the plate mounted on the wall. We'll go get our hole saw kit and get this started. Now, this thing, it did come with drywall anchors. We're not going to be putting it in drywall. We're going into 1/2 inch OSB, which is perfectly fine to hold this unit. So we're just going to use the bracket screws, put up the bracket. We will check it for level once again. So don't forget to, load up your pockets in your hands as much as possible. Anything to make it difficult to get back to the job site. Okay. So, you can see this bracket does have the insert can slide on, so you can put one bolt in first before you get everything else going, if you want. Doesn't matter. Or you can just hold it up there and start throwing screws in it. I promise you're going to forget where your screw holes are too, or not forget, you'll miss them. I was just looking at that. Okay, so we'll put that on and hang it. There are other screws in here. If they line up at all. There, counterpart. Okay, where is it? Right. Ah. Got it. Okay. Start level on it again. Once you get that bubble right in the center, lock it down. Don't let it go anywhere. There we go. There we go. That's it. Now you can put in the rest of It's a Terre Haute. Ah, okay, got that good. All of our screws are in. It's looking wonderful so far. Let's check the level on that one more time. I just want to make sure it's going to be good, you know. It looks good. Okay. I can stop worrying. I can stop it. Okay. Let's get our hole saw. I'll be right back. Okay. Now we can do it. Don't forget to take your screw out of the wall before you change your bits. Or you can be a cool guy that has like 17 drills and just have a drill set up for every attachment. I haven't made it big yet, so you won't see me doing that. But if I win the lottery, there will be clues. Okay, remember, I'm going to drill this hole at about a, I don't know, 5-degree angle, so just make sure it's slanted a little bit. Okay. Now we can go outside, drill that hole through. Woo! Oh, got away from me. Okay, let's go drill that hole. We'll be right back. So anyway, sure you can see, got the hole drilled. I just didn't want to move the camera around and show you guys with me putting the ladder up and down, drilling it there, that. Seemed like a waste of video. So anyway, got the hole drilled. Now it's time to put the head unit up there. Like I said, it has these little clips on the bottom right here that clip into those 2 ears that stick out of the bottom. And now the 2 ears that stick out of the top will go right in here. So basically, we're just going to lift this up, set our tubes through the wall, put it on those hooks for the ears, and just, that's it. It hangs on the wall. You will notice when you unpack your unit, all this is folded up, laid down in here. These are copper tubes, okay? So you're gonna have some resistance bending them up. Just do it carefully and slowly. Copper is very soft, so if you bend it fast, it could crack. You don't want that to happen with your damn brand new AC lines. They're refrigerant lines. They're under pressure when these things operate, so you want them completely intact, no leaks. So anyway, just grab your copper lines and your tubing together, you know, however it's laid in there. You'll have to fold it out so it can then go through the wall. So I just softly folded that up. This thing had a 2-piece drain line, which is probably says a lot about the unit. Probably a little cheap, but that's why we're installing it. See if it's gonna work. You know, why the hell not? You only live once. But with your drain line, like I said, this thing always wants to go down. It never wants to go up, because if you start going up with your tube, that's gonna make a spot where water can collect and not vent out. Then that could flood your unit. You don't want to do that. So always make sure that your drain line is going downhill. I wanted to make sure that it remains on the bottom of my copper lines, so I went ahead and taped it to the bottom. That way when I put all this through the wall, it's always going to stay there. It'll be on the bottom, and that's it. Don't have to think about it. Don't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and get this thing up on the wall, get the tubes through, get it mounted, and then we'll go outside and start working on the heat pump. So, wow, okay. Just like that. That was pretty easy. One thing I did not do right there was install the power line that goes from the unit to the unit outside, but I'm not going to put that in my video. I'm not an electrician, so I don't want anybody copying any of the wiring I did or saying that they copied the wiring I did and then they burn their house down. Everything that I've done here has either been fully talked over with electricians that are certified to do the work, or they've personally shown me how to do it, and then I've done it with picture, blah blah blah. Anyway, I don't want to show anybody how to do wiring because that is not my trigger. So we're just mounting stuff. Let's go ahead and move outside and start getting the heat pump hooked up. This is going pretty well. Okay, we're out here in the back. Like I said, all of the electrical is already done, so we don't have to worry about that. All we're going to do is make some final connections to basically where it's, too hot on the ground, and the easy stuff. Everything else has already been taken care of. It's certified. It's good. We don't have to worry about that. Nothing will burn down. Yay. Okay. To mount the outside unit, the heat pump. There's several different ways to do it. You can mount it on the ground, you can mount it on the building, pour a pad, put down gravel, whatever. I thought this way was easiest, so that's how we're going to go through it. This one consists of a bar that is mounted on the wall, and then it has the L bracket that then hangs off of that. And again, it slides in from the side. Yeah, okay. So they just slide on. Okay. Very simple, very easy to put up. If you can make things level, you're going to be pretty good. So this is already level. I don't know if you can see that, but it's good. So you know that this guy's level, mainly mostly for aesthetics, because we're going to level the bar again. We're installing it with number 10 construction structural screws, 1.5 inches. We're going to get one side in first. I don't want everything shoved right up against my power outlet over here, so we'll take up the end of the board on this side as much as we can. Let's hang it towards the top and let's put a screw in, okay? Let's see what this looks like. If that doesn't happen on you, I don't know what to tell you. Because that always happens to me. Okay. Let's get one of these guys in. There we go. Finally. Okay. Didn't know if that was going to work or not. It's kind of sweating. Everything's a little different when you press record. Put our level on there. Get that just right. And let you guys look. It's pretty damn level. Okay. Let's get this back over here. Pretty level. That's where we want it. Might not be level anymore. It's good. We're gonna keep it. Let's put some more screws in this thing. We don't want it going anywhere. There is one other board we're going to have to install. after this. And that will be the board down here on the bottom that these pads for our brackets will rest against. The bottom right here won't be anchored in or won't be solidly touching the wall unless we put another kicker up here or use another kicker like up here. So to find the height of that, let's just go ahead, smash our hand. Let's go ahead and hang that right there. Now, I think will be pretty good. We mount it right there under this rib. Everything lined up just right. Got lucky on that. Okay, I'm gonna get to installing this guy really quick and then we'll move on. Definitely want to throw your really expensive tools in the dirt. They last longer that way. I've heard that on job sites so many times. Just not said that nicely. Okay, sweet deal. Let's get another one of those metal anchors. Because remember, or maybe not remember, we may not have talked about it. This is the steel building that I had built, so these are metal studs back here. That's why we're using the metal hardware. Okay, that one's sunk. Let's go over here, do the same. Oh, just missed that one. Okay, we'll get that one in right there. That's in. Put another one about right here. Okay. Beautiful. One more on the end. That's it. Okay, now we're gonna go get the heat pump, bring it out here, and get its width, figured out on this guy. I don't know if it's more narrow than this right now or not. It could be. Maybe once we get the width on the unit figured out, we will use the holes in the tops of these brackets with this bolt, and we'll try to anchor everything in place that way. I think that's going to be a good idea. Okay. Let's pull this guy off real quick then, since I can tell that's where we're going with this. Okay, now we can go get the unit, set it on there, figure out what our distance is going to be, and get the feet and everything put on. Stay tuned. That'd be fine right there for a second. Okay, here's all the rubber feet. I'm just gonna try to get this thing, adjusted out, get the feet on, and we'll go from there. That's looking okay so far. Well, yeah. Go ahead and get this thing bolted down, I suppose. It's going surprisingly easy. Like something could go wrong at any minute, kind of easy. But getting a washer for every one of these guys. There we go. Go. It does seem kind of wobbly, but I think once everything is tight, it's going to be good. Okay, I mean, you guys saw it. It went pretty quick and easy. You know, the next couple things I need to do probably won't include in the video just because I don't want to mislead or miscommunicate anything. What I am going to have to do next is, and this is included in the instructions, so if you think you're going to get away without having to do it, think again, because you should. But I'm going to get my copper connections all ran down here. They plug into the unit right here or connect to the unit right here. I'm going to get all those connections made. I'm going to shorten the tubing if it's too long, and which means I'm going to have to reflare it. And if you want to look into that stuff and learn how to do it yourself, that's great. I'm just not going to show it on here. But I'm probably going to reflare the lines if they're too long. Make my connections here before this unit is pre-charged. Before I release there's a squirrel up there. Before I release the refrigerant inside the unit into the lines, after I've made these connections, I'm going to have to hook up a vacuum pump, pull a vacuum on the lines in between here and the head unit inside. I'm going to have to let that vacuum sit and make sure that it's not leaking. Then once I've done that, or if you, well, yeah, that's the best way to do it. Once you've done that, you're good to go. Then you can go ahead and release your refrigerant in there. Anyway, like I said, there's a bunch of ways to learn how to do that. Go learn how to do it, please. Let's make the rest of the connections here, button this thing up, and our next video will be turning this thing on. And okay. Holy crap, you want to talk about a crazy last couple days. I ended up getting this thing installed, got the flu, had to take, basically the whole week off of work. Yeah, it just hasn't been my week, I guess, but oh well, we persevere. Anyway, I told you I would finish this up and get you the video on evacing the lines and getting this thing all charged up and finished. So let's go ahead and do that. See, I've got a vacuum pump here. I've got some gauges, mini splits. I'm sure you can see it right here. And I'm guessing other HVAC equipment have a different size fitting right here. That's going to be important to know. You can go get your manifold gauges, and they're not going to come with that little adapter. It is a 5/16 female to 1/4 inch male SAE adapter. I don't know if a lot of people are going to tell you that. I haven't watched a lot of these other videos, but I'm guessing this kind of stuff does get left out because these kind of parts you can only get from an HVAC supply store. Now, to buy parts from an HVAC supply store, you have to have an account there. You have to be a business to be able to do that. Yeah, it's not a fun process. Anyway,
we got our adapter, 5/16 female to 1/4 inch male adapter that will now allow us to hook our pressure gauge up to the mini split. So when we draw this line into a vacuum, we can tell what the vacuum is. So we're gonna hang this right here from our handy dandy conduit that you're not supposed to hang stuff from. Let's go ahead and turn on our vacuum pump. And we're gonna open this up to our line. Okay. To properly hook or to vacuum out anything, you need to let this process go for probably, 20 minutes. That way it will make sure all of the air and moisture is out of this line. Water boils off at a certain vacuum. I can't remember what it is. Like 24 to 26 inches of mercury or something like that. Water will vaporize off, or boil off, I mean. So this thing is going to take it down pretty damn close to 30 inches of mercury. You just want to leave it on like that for a while. The longer it's on there, the more air, the more moisture it will pull out of that system. You don't want any air or moisture in these lines. So we're going to leave this on for 20 to 30 minutes. Then we'll come back and make sure, once we shut off the vacuum pump, we're going to make sure that the vacuum actually stays in the system. Then we're going to go ahead and charge it and spray our lines with a little spray bottle, make sure that they hold pressure. So be back in a couple minutes. Won't be a couple minutes for you because I'm going to fast forward the video after I come back. But anyway, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so this thing has been vacuuming for a proper amount of time. It's probably been 20-25 minutes now. So what we're going to go ahead and do is close this gauge right here. Close that nice and tight. And shut off the pump. That's done vacuuming. This gauge is now open to the system only right now. So if it starts losing vacuum, we'll know. I'll bring you over here so you can see really quick. We are at -30. There's the connection in that adapter, so y'all can see that. But yeah, now we're just gonna give it a couple minutes, make sure that the vacuum doesn't bleed down. If it doesn't, it means our leaks are pretty good. And then we're gonna go ahead and crack one of these loose, put some pressure in the system, and then we'll use the spray bottle to spray on our fittings. Make sure they're not leaking. And once we know, hold on one second, sorry about that. And once we know that all our fittings are good and our system is fully pressurized, we'll go ahead and open both of these valves, turn our breaker on, and go inside and check the system out. I'm going to give that about 5-10 more minutes. Okay, so our gauge is still looking good. Our pressure's still all right. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take my gauge off of here. Everything's closed up. Okay. Gauge is off the system now. Now, like I said, we're going to open up these two valves really slowly. Well, we're going to crack one slowly for a couple seconds, get some pressure in there, use our bottle to pressure test everything. If it leaks, then we're going to have to stop and redo the whole process and then recharge the thing with the proper amount of refrigerant. So this is where you really hope that all your fittings are tight. gonna crack this for a couple seconds, not even open all the way. Okay. I cracked it for a couple seconds. You could hear the fluid moving into the system. Hit everything with your water. Look for bubbles. No bubbles. Okay, I think we're good. We don't have any leaks. So, let's open these valves all the way. Put our caps back on. I'm just gonna open them all the way. Don't try to force them out any farther. When they stop, you know, that's enough. Up that high side. Okay, let's put our valves on. See what happens. Okay, I'll get the valves and everything cleaned up after we go inside and make sure this thing turns on, but here goes nothing. This is after all the hard work. Let's flip it on. Okay, unit's got power to it. Let's go inside. After I throw my tools in the dirt again. Don't forget to do that.
All right, everybody. Here's the time to test this thing out and see if it actually works. We just turned on the breaker outside. I'm gonna hit the on button right now. Okay, well, that's good. I'm guessing that it is Celsius, which you know, we're close to y'all in Canada, but we're not quite there. We're still using, you know, the good old standard system. Okay, you got it on Fahrenheit, obviously. Let's try the mode and see if we can get this thing in cooling. It's on 79. Let's see how cold we can get it. Okay, 60 is the lowest setting. Okay, let's see what happens. I think it's working. It's blowing. We'll give it a couple seconds to cool off. See if it starts blowing super cold air, which we kind of hope it does. And it's cooling off. This is going to be so sweet to finally have air conditioning in the shop. And I forget if I mentioned this unit, even though it is a cheapy from, you know, the big depot store where you get the home stuff. It's a heating and cooling unit. So the fact that it can heat as well, you know, is pretty cool, and it's going to serve pretty nice in the winter here. It does get kind of chilly. So yeah, it's going to be cool to have a unit that is capable of doing both. And this thing is already chilling down quite a bit. And yeah, I hope that helps you all decide if you want to do a mini split or not. I'm definitely sold on it now. I was a little suspicious of these things at first, but the install was pretty sweet, and it looks to be a pretty legit unit so far. It may be worth it to you if you want to buy an extended warranty on these things, just to make sure that, you know, if anything happens in the future, if it is a crappy unit, you can get it replaced. But I don't have anything bad to say about them now. I mean, we just totally went through the whole install, and it was easy. I did the whole thing myself. It was a one-person install. So I can't say anything bad about it. I'm perfectly happy with this unit right now, and I wish you were here, but this thing is blowing ice friggin' cold. This is gonna be a perfect new addition to the shop. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, everybody. Keep coming back, and we're gonna install and build some cool shit together. All right, Mally out.